Thank you. Good morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Innu, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Ian Mann, and I'm joined today on the panel with Ms. Lynn Nesbitt and Ms. Cynthia Stevens. The secretary today is Mrs. Crystal Harland, and the assessor is Mr. Stephen Lobenstein. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the applications of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the Board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today, and the session will close after all of the applications have been heard. The Board will deliberate in private to make its decision. You will receive the Board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will be hearing item 2 on our docket today. Mrs. Harland, would you please affirm the assessor and the applicant's testimony?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Assessor, would you please state your full name?
Stephen Lobenstein.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Applicant, would you please stand? Would you please state your full name?
Trevor Smith.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Now, Mr. Lobenstein, I know that there's only one matter on the docket, and the information I have from the agenda is that there's going to be a confirmation. But even in that case, I would ask that you introduce the property and give a summary so that we may make the appropriate determination during our deliberation. So that property is a street address of 621 Balmoral Street. And if you could introduce the property and provide us some of the background and information and the assessed value, please.
Sure. The roll number is 1305206350. As mentioned, it's 621 Balmoral Street. We have an assessed value of $3,405,000. As you can see, this is an assessed value for a hotel property, but currently this property is being converted into a wellness center. So it is no longer going to be operating as a hotel anymore. So that means there's going to be a change of classification and liability as well with how we value this property. It is my understanding that this part of this property is already operating as a wellness property while other aspects of it are still being renovated. I have an article from the CBC on my page, I think it is, give me a sec here, my page 6 through, and it's just showing that they're showing that this is back in February, I believe. They were renovating it and some of the rooms were pretty much ready at this point, and parts of this property have already started to operate as a wellness center. So what we're going to be doing is we will be removing it as a hotel property, and we'll be adding it as a different property in the future. There'll be a supplementary notice going out in 2025. So we are looking for confirmation for this property.
And just for the record, please, the amount of the assessed value currently?
Well, the amount of the assessed value currently is $3,405,000.
Thank you. That's your presentation?
That's it. Yeah, because we're looking for.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, questions?
I have no questions.
Ms. Nesbitt, questions?
I have no questions.
Ms. Stevens, questions?
I have no questions.
And I have no questions. This might be going faster than I expected. Mr. Smith, have you a presentation to make?
No, we are of the same opinion, on the understanding that the property is going to be reassessed and receive a supplemental notice for the 2025 period. Under its new use, we are looking for confirmation of the assessment as well.
Thank you. Mr. Lobenstein, have you got any questions with respect to what Mr. Smith has indicated?
I have no questions.
Ms. Stevens?
Nope, no questions, thank you.
Ms. Nesbitt?
No questions, thank you.
And I have no questions. I will ask if there's any need to summarize, Mr. Lobenstein.
There is not.
Okay, Mr. Smith?
No, thank you.
Then, having heard the evidence on this matter, we will conclude it, and thank you very much for your presentation. And I believe that's all the matters on the docket today. So having heard all the matters, we will adjourn the hearing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.